This is Football Psych. I'm Coach Man Mike.
It is Lord Converted Sarge.
Oh, you're converted today. What's going on, Lord Sarge?
Well, you know, I told you I couldn't lose. A good fan never loses.
Oh, my goodness, man. Out of all the stuff we had to put up with you and your Lions paraphernalia.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what, though.
Your Lions contraband.
I made some bold claims on our last show, didn't I?
Yes, you did. And you're eating your hat today, buddy.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm going to have to leave here in a second because I got Kinders. I got my salt and pepper. I got my plate and my fork and my knife, and things are happening, just waiting for the wife to holler at me and say, "Hey, your hat's ready." So I might have to leave and grab my hat shortly.
Okay. Well, for all you fans that have joined us, and I know more are going to be joining us here shortly, make sure that you participate by adding comments to the comment section. We definitely like your comments. This is a participation sport. I also want to tell everybody happy Inauguration Day. I want to tell everybody happy Martin Luther King Day. And I also want to tell everybody happy Redskins Day, Victory Day, baby, because we are going to the NFC Championship game.
Ooh. Unbelievable.
Man, nobody, and I mean nobody on the face of this planet would have predicted that the Washington Commanders would be in the NFC Championship game. Nobody thought that.
I know I didn't.
Nope. I don't know of a single person alive who predicted that one, to include anybody on the Washington Commanders football team.
Well, everyone up here, everyone. You know, the local fan radio shows and everything. Everyone's like, no, hell no. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're gonna destroy the Lions. Not one person around here thought that we would lose, except for me.
That's right, except for you.
What's that? Oh, hey, wait, Coach Man Mac. Hold a second.
Where do you go? I lost my co-host. Hey, all of you guys are on there like, how does that happen? Like, I can't keep control of my own co-host, man. He's like not even there anymore. But anyway, Lord Sarge is still struggling.
So as it is ready, I'll let it.
Oh my goodness, man.
It's off the frying pan. It's ready to go.
So for all of y'all who know, like, I almost kicked him off the show wearing all that Lions gear, paraphernalia, propaganda, contraband on this show last week. He will never wear that Lions crap on my channel again. Ever. He has been barred from wearing that stuff. So he is now a converted Washington Commander. He always said it was the number 2 team. Yeah, okay. Well, we all know where he really stood last week. Let's just be real.
I was always a Commanders fan. I was born a Redskins fan, actually, as you could tell. Ain't no one got an old school hat like me. That's the first game I ever went to. But I got converted by my Diddy a long time ago. And I've been a Lions fan as my number 1 team. And I sure as doggy dog thought they were going to come through for us.
All right, so Shaq, I guess, is running a little bit late. He'll join the show when he can join the show. I know there's a lot of inauguration events that are going on, so for those, take a break from that. He's signing executive orders right now. It's time to talk football because that is a thing that we are all looking for in Commanders, Redskins Nation. We want to see our team do the unthinkable, and that is win the Super Bowl. And I will tell you what, I am so excited just at this particular time because we have waited 33 years for this particular moment in time. 33 years. The last time we did this, and I don't really want to get away with my age, but I'm going to. I was 21 years old when we won the last Super Bowl. I loved it, but we have had an enormous dry spell. I'm ready for another title to come to Washington. Who's with me on that?
I'm with you on that.
Who's with me? Let's go Super Bowl, baby.
Let's get my Lion steak.
And listen, we beat the Eagles before. We can beat them again. And I'm looking forward to that. So I prepared a couple of things. All right. So I'm going to add this real quick onto the stage here.
Oh, what you got there, Coach?
Oh, my goodness. Do I got some stuff in store for everybody. Look at this. We are going to the NFC Championship game. We got to play this game in Philadelphia. Now, it's too early to really get a weather report yet, but I imagine it's going to be a little bit cold. What do you think, Large Sarge?
I think it's going to be freezing.
Yeah, it might be a little bit freezing. Hey, I want to know anybody out there who's actually going to the game, which I would think would be a little insane because I looked at ticket prices and they're running around $2,000 to $3,000 a ticket.
$2,000 to $3,000.
It's insane, man. And to go out there and freeze your butt off, I am not signing up for that.
Oh, man.
So I know Lord Sarge is going to be working in the ABC store because he couldn't get the day off, but I'm going to be watching this game because during that hour or when the kickoff happens at 3 p.m. on Sunday, shown on Fox next week, I don't know if I have anywhere else better to be on the face of the planet than glued to a TV to watch this game. So, man, I will tell you, I'm looking forward to this. Lars Sarge has to eat his hat because his team lost. You fry that up real good?
I microwaved it. It's awful. It's awful. The taste of the feet in my mouth stinks. It stinks.
You brought it on yourself. You brought it on yourself because you went with a loser franchise against the Washington Commanders. I don't know what was wrong with you. I will declare that temporary insanity. But now that we've gotten a little bit of I don't know if he's got any sanity left in him. But the real thing is the real thing. We're going to the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. And I will tell you, to me, I think this all boils down to one thing, one goal for us, and that's to stop Saquon Barkley. We do that, we're going to win again. Yeah. What do you guys think? Put your comments in the comment section. Can we stop Saquon Barkley?
You know we can. I love it. Jack's saying the Smeagol's. I like the name for the Eagles, the Smeagol's. I like that name.
The Smeagol's.
Listen, let me tell you something. I was calling the Clutch Manders, right? 6 games or 5 games in the last 30 seconds. The Clutch Manders, right? They weren't clutch on Saturday. They were dominant.
They kicked a little bit of butt, man.
Like I said, I predicted in last week's show that the Lions couldn't have a 2-score lead or there was 2 turnovers or more. They were in a lot of trouble. And I'll be dadgum if that didn't happen. Exactly.
I like how you and I played the game on Madden.
Oh, yeah.
Beforehand. And I played the Washington Commanders, obviously. He played the Detroit Lions, and I blew him out. He threw pick sixes. And then at the end of the game, he's like, this is not realistic at all. And I'll be doggone if we didn't get into the actual game and all those things kind of happened.
How many turnovers did I have? How many turnovers did I have, Coach, in that game we played on
Madden? He had 5 turnovers in that game against me. And guess what? That happened in real life. It was spooky.
I got shivers in my spine.
It was spooky. And I blew you out. And he was like, well, that's not realistic. That's never going to happen. And it happened. It was so crazy.
It was nuts. We were laughing so hard watching the game and then looking at each other and going, because it's like deja vu.
It was deja vu. So we did have an unfortunate injury during the game against the Lions. So our best offensive lineman, Sam Cosme, unfortunately went down with a torn ACL and had surgery yesterday, which will end it. He did put a message out, and I have it up here for you to see. He said he's knocked down but never out. What a dream this season has been for me. To see the DMV full of pride after years of waiting has brought me so much joy. Getting to play alongside my brothers every day, fighting for something bigger than myself, is something I'm incredibly grateful for. I'm heartbroken. My season has been cut short, but I know our journey is not done yet. Go win it all, boys. Commanders Nation, I will see you next season. Trials and testimonies, #HTTC. So there you go.
Hey, Brad lit us up, and he's like, hey, last week I predicted 31-28. He's like, that's actually what the score was at halftime.
Yeah, buddy.
500 yards of offense at halftime. There was 86 points scored in this game. Me and Coach Matt looked at each other and said, ain't no one got no defense. This is going to be a shootout from hell, and whoever screws up wins. And sure enough, it was only the Lions screwing up. Jaden Daniels and the club held it together. No turnovers, played a solid game, and stuck it to him.
Yeah, I know Brad was on there. I know Matt was on there. I know some of these other Lions fans on there because you had a strong Lions Nation thing on here last week. And I will tell you what, man, I mean, I hate it for you, but like this was the result right here. This was the result. Dan Campbell crying. That was the result.
Yeah.
He was bawling his eyes out.
I'm going to bite your kneecaps. My team sucks.
And for all you guys over there, like
the pain of losing twice in the States.
Yeah. And so
Dan Campbell, you're
Lord Sarge, take another bite of that hat because I'm telling you, like this one here, like you see it when I put it right there on the bottom of the thing. Lord Sarge said he would eat his hat, and you got to eat your hat, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Because you better take another big old bite of that fried hat with our microwave hat. So I will tell you, for all you guys out there on lines, I do slightly feel bad for you because you will probably lose both your coordinators this offseason. But how dare you think that you could beat the Washington Commanders? How dare you?
Ben Johnson is confirmed to go to the Bears. He's in the Bears' new head coach.
He's going to the Bears. That's been confirmed? Oh, wow. Okay. All kinds of great news is happening today. Mm-hmm. Again, for those of you joining us, please put your comments in the comments section. This is a participation sport. You know, happy Inauguration Day to you guys. Happy MLK Day and happy Victory Day for the Washington Commanders. And so we want to keep this thing going here. Yep, Dan Campbell was crying. I know it's an emotional thing. I will tell you, man, we flat out.
You don't stand up in front of your team.
I cannot be more proud of our team for just flat out kicking the Lions' butt.
You don't stand up in front of your team. The one where you've been telling, we're tough. We ain't never quit. We don't care. Next man up. Let's bite off kneecaps. But that's really the pain doesn't hit you until afterwards. You don't do that. I wouldn't play for him now. And he didn't. Dan Campbell actually did not screw up the game. He called it. He didn't make a mistake. Amazingly, I was so afraid of that. And here we go with Goff gumping out. Yeah. Coach, tell him what I said at halftime. What was I saying at halftime, Coach?
I don't remember. What were you saying at halftime? I mean, you randomly threw a question out there. I don't have the answer to that.
I was after that first fumble. I said, "Uh-oh, we're in trouble. That's it."
I told you were in trouble before the game even started.
They're going to lose the game.
I told you before this game even started that y'all were in trouble and you were all going to lose the game.
And then got
what popped. What are you talking about halftime?
Goff got popped, and they put Bridgewater in, and we had the miracle touchdown to get back in the game, and they pulled him out and put Goff in. I told you right there in the middle, they should have kept Goff out. He was done already. He was done. Nope. Can't do it. You just can't do it. But when Goff gets bad, Goff is horrifying. And you cannot turn the ball over in the playoffs, even to the Commanders, right? So
yeah, so I see Shaq out there on his podcast.
You'll be here in a minute.
Talking in here like, come on, you need to come on board, man, because I'm going to get ready to get in some analysis here in a second. But anyway, we have a great report card here, and I want your comments on whether or not you think that this is accurate, Lard Sarge. This was a report card that was posted on the Commander's Wire about how our team did that particular day. A+ on offense, A on defense, B+ on special teams, A+ for coaching, and Jane Daniels got an A+. What do you see that stands out there? Do you agree with these grades, Lord Sarge?
Why are you giving special teams a B+?
I didn't give these grades. These grades were the Commander's Wire grades.
That's what they gave themselves.
That's what was reported on Commander's Wire that were the grades from the game. Now, this was originally reported through NFL.com and posted on the Commander's Wire. So who actually gave these grades? Not really quite sure. I know I should be better at citing my sources than that. These were the grades for the game.
Why didn't they get an A2? I mean, the Commanders were tight across the board.
And I think these grades represent that.
You know,
got 3 A-pluses in there.
Yeah, they gave up a gadget play. They gave up a miracle catch by Laporta that Goff shouldn't have made and shouldn't have thrown. They gave that up, you know. But those in playoff, game highlights with your number 1 seed going to happen, right? But overall, the defense made a mockery of them.
I will tell you what, though. I never had a report card that looked like this when I was in high school.
Yeah, that's for sure, right?
It didn't happen to me. Mine looked more like the one in the actual photo of that thing. I mean, I had like a couple D's, I had an F, a C.
Yeah.
You know? But no, I mean, hey.
Shaq is saying to be on defense because we give up so many yards. And the turnovers compensated, which I can't argue with that. I agree. You don't want to give up that many yards. But we played a bend, don't break against the top offense in the league. So, I mean, what can you expect, especially with our secondary? Lattimore did not make a mistake this game, amazingly.
Yeah, and I will tell you, for being 8.5-point underdogs in this game, I think we did all right, buddy.
Yep.
I think we did all right. So for this next game against the Philadelphia Eagles, I know that we are 5-point underdogs. So I actually think that for the Washington Commanders, we actually really enjoy being an underdog going into the game because I think it gives them something to be hyped up about to prove people wrong. And I don't mind it at all because I believe that we can beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
We already have once.
Right? And Lions the last time we played.
They're number 1 seed. Lions was an unknown, right? It was a number 1 seed, and you're playing on their home turf, right? That could have gone either way. Three of those turnovers cost 21 points, and that was the game, right? So if the Lions didn't make those turnovers per se, then they walk away winners, right? But we beat Philly.
Hold on, help me out, fans, because I'm not agreeing with any of this analysis here. I'm not agreeing with it at all. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I like this is more than 3 turnovers. You guys gave up a buttload of freaking yards, a buttload. If you had take those 21 points off the board, we were still going to win this game.
No, I don't think so. 21 swing, no. Nah.
Man.
But listen, it takes a complete team and a complete game, right? We could if and all day long. At the end of the day, W.
That's right. A W for the Washington Commanders.
Been, right? W.
And now Lawrence Charge is on the bandwagon. He's already eaten his Lions hat. He refuses to wash his jersey. So I mean, and so he's a little bit
jersey. Actually, you know what the problem was? I didn't wear my colors that day. You sat in Commanders colors, and I had my Virginia ABC shirt on. And we didn't even make a video. I didn't get in the spirit. That's probably what it was. I let my team down because I secretly wanted the Commanders to win the entire time, honestly.
I represented, and we won. So Washington Commanders are going to the NFC championship game for the first time in 33 years. I am so excited for this team. I will tell you, it just absolutely blows my mind because, again, nobody predicted that we would be at this point. And I like Journey of the Jackass podcast here, too, talking about Lawrence Star. Where are those Lions cheerleaders? I told them that they would be wearing burgundy and gold this week.
They were there, but they weren't cheering.
They didn't have a whole lot to cheer about.
They were consoling Dan Campbell when he started crying.
Somebody need a hug.
Were. You didn't see that? Dan came over there crying and handing him tissues and stuff, and he came back on the field.
Oh my goodness! I messed
Jared!
Oh
what
my
happened
goodness.
to you, my Jared?
Yeah. All right, so this is what the playoff bracket looks like right now. I will tell you, it is a pretty thing to see the number 1 seed Detroit Lions knocked off the board, and we are going. I just love the way that looks, right? Because nobody thought the bracket would look like this. There was also a lot of people who really thought the Ravens were going to beat the Bills. And
I did.
And to see that the Bills are there, I mean, most people thought that the Chiefs obviously would be in the position that they have. but people weren't really expecting the playoff bracket to look like this. Right? I mean, this is something else. This has been a crazy playoff period.
Now, Coach, you don't have your bracket from 2 weeks ago, do you, that you can put up?
Oh, yeah, I'm showing it, buddy.
Yeah,
it's in here.
Put it up. Because we've been laughing and we've been, folks.
I was kind of stalling a little bit to see if Shaq would actually come on before I started going into these brackets, but he is not cooperating. So, like, I'm going to keep going with some of these brackets. But, like, I will tell you, like, we are so close. So very, very close of getting back to the show. For the first time in 33 years.
So on the show 2 weeks ago, Coach Matt, we all went through, Shaq, Coach, me, went through our brackets and what we thought. My brackets are all blown up. They're gone. Coach Matt and Mike pulled a funny bone and destroyed logic and came up with a bracket. And I'll be dadgum if he's not on track.
I will tell you, I lost my flipping mind going through that bracket, and it's like coming true, which is so scary. And I even told you it had the least likely opportunity of coming true, so most likely it would happen. And it is. And you fell out of your chair laughing. And it is like happening right now.
Show the dadgum thing.
Okay, well, I want to go through this a little bit now because I want to show where everybody was at. So this was the preseason bracket that I did back in July. And it could still happen with the Eagles and Bills because I didn't think that the Commanders, I had them only winning 8 games. I didn't have them making the playoffs.
Yeah, they ain't even on the chart.
But technically, the Super Bowl could still end up like my preseason bracket. We're still kind of on track for that to still happen. Those two teams are still in it. Right? So I just find it relatively interesting that happened. But then we came to Lard Sarge. Lard Sarge thought this was going to come down to the Lions going to the show, going up against the Chiefs. He had Tampa Bay beating our beloved Washington Commanders, which makes me want to go over there and rip his hat off right now. And
again, except for 2 turnovers, and the Commanders playing a perfect game.
Excuses.
They're playing great ball, and they're not making any mistakes. That's what you got to do.
Here was his bracket, and he went and said the Detroit Lions would win the Super Bowl. Then Shaq is driving. I'm still going to show his bracket because Shaq thought the Ravens and the Rams were going to the Super Bowl. Hey, both those dudes lost.
Yeah.
They're not there.
Bracket blown up.
He said that the Ravens would win the Super Bowl. And then I had my crazy bracket. And I said, guess what? This would come down to I said the Rams and the Commanders, but it's going to be the Eagles and Commanders. And then I said it was going to be Buffalo versus KC, which is happening. I was only wrong on one. And then my revised thing said it was going to be Washington, Buffalo, and that the winner would be Washington. With the same exact score that happened 33 years ago.
We got to watch this. We got to watch. I mean, that's
and just this could still happen.
Yeah, it could. It's unbelievable.
This could still happen. And not only could this happen, but my preseason one, if the Eagles were to win, could still happen.
Yep, that's right.
So both of these brackets can technically still happen. And it's just like crazy that we're at this particular point.
Our preseason bracket was pretty solid, I think. At the end of the day, our preseason bracket is holding. I mean, we're down to the conference championship, and we're still on track from preseason. I say that's pretty good analysis by Football Psych.
Yeah, it's from Football Psych because I will tell you, I saw a lot of stuff from ESPN, from Fox Sports, from NFL Network, from a lot of these other things, all these brackets and preseason predictions, and I say Football Psych, we beat the pants off of all those brackets that I saw.
Yeah, we did.
Just like what we did during the NFL draft. We beat the pants off of all those pundits on the NFL draft.
I don't know what they're talking about.
By a long shot. We go completely a different direction than what everybody else says, and we end up coming up with something more accurate.
Yep.
Not perfect, but more accurate.
Yep.
Right. So anyway, that's where I have us being at right now between those brackets. And I will tell you, I would love when Shaq comes on to get his particular points off of it. But like, what were your overall takes on the Lions game before we start looking ahead to the Eagles? What were your overall takes on the Lions?
Me? You talking to me, Coach? You talking to fans?
He's the only other person on the net right now.
So listen. They had the week off, right? And Shaq last week was saying, Sarge, what do you think about that? A lot of times that hurts teams because they get out of practice. Well, I didn't see that. What my comment was, I agree, except for this circumstance with them so banged up, they needed to get Montgomery and Terrion Arnold back, right? So at the end of the day, what I have to say about the Lions' performance is they played a hell of a crappy game. Obviously, the turnovers on the QB were the deciding factor in the game, right? If there were no turnovers in the game by either side, I think the Lions still come out on top, but it was a shootout. Neither defense could stop each other, really. So it was offense against offense. And I'll tell you something. I'm proud of my skins, man. Did you see how they cut through the offensive line of the Lions? That defensive line, Allen and Payne, tandem. There was no breathing. I mean, Gibbs did get his yards around the outside, but I could not believe the offensive line was missing. I mean, they haven't played like that all year. So coverage was good. I mean, seriously, it was good. And Jaden Daniels, the guy's a phenom. That ball that he threw for that long bomb TD where Joseph had his hand all over the face of who was it? Who was De'Ami Brown?
De'Ami Brown. Yep.
That ball, we talked about it for an hour. I swear that ball was gonna. He threw that ball 40 yards and hit a spot that big. That's how big that spot was. And De'Ami couldn't see the ball because he had a hand in his face, and he just had his hands in the right place and boom, catch. How does a kid develop that kind of accuracy? That is hard.
It's truly phenomenal.
Hard.
It's a gift, man. It's a gift.
He is a very, very gifted QB. Now, he had a few passes that were like not even close, but for the most part, I rate his accuracy is Pro Bowl level play for a rookie. It's fun to watch. It's truly fun to watch him play. And when he throws, he got skinny little arms like this. Did you remember me busting on him on their thing? They show him and he's all in the caricatures. He's got big, huge biceps. I'm like, he got biceps like that. When he goes back, he goes, and the ball goes 40, 50 yards. He doesn't even look like he's putting any effort into it. And he's just smiling. So the Lions played a crappy game. It was very clear to me that the entire defensive scheme was just like Tampa Bay, do not let Daniels get outside. And they left the center entirely wide open, and B-Rob finally showed up, right? There was no one to stop him, and B-Rob actually showed what he can do, right? But our offensive line blocked for him too, right? Against a fairly decent defensive line. So we got a hold of a running game all of a sudden. And that, I think, destroyed the Lions' game plan from that perspective. And from there on out, it just became a shootout.
So I have a very different perspective of what I saw within the game. So part of it was what were the secrets offensively to really get things going, right? Like, one, it was the running game, which had its moments throughout the game. Yeah, B-Rob, I wanted him to have a big game. He had a couple of big runs. Austin Eckler, we said getting him out and getting him in open space was important. He did that. We said we needed to get Ertz. We need to get Ertz really involved, and we did that. We also said, Terry McLaurin would have his opportunities and shots, but we needed to see either De'Ami Brown or Zacchaeus really get going, and we saw that. So my perspective is what we were trying to do offensively, we were able to do.
Yes.
And then what I saw defensively, I thought that defensively, one of the most important things that we really needed to do was put pressure on the quarterback, and I was concerned on whether or not we would be able to get to Goff. I like the fact that he's not mobile like other quarterbacks; he would sit in the pocket, but we don't. Our edge rushers are not my favorite that we've had, right? So I pooped on them several times throughout the year, but like we did, to your point, Drawing Payne, Jonathan Allen, rotating in Johnny Newton, different things like that. Armstrong, I felt like had a pretty strong
opportunity. Had a good game, yeah.
Get in there. And then our linebackers, I was looking for a lot from Wagner and Luvu. We got it. I thought Sinistro stepped up. I actually thought that Marshawn Lattimore had probably the second best game that he's had out of the three he's played this year. I actually think he really kind of started shutting stuff down. You didn't hear anything on his end where he was getting burnt or anything. No PI calls. I thought Quan Martin did really well. So a lot of the objectives that we were looking for defensively came through. We all knew that this was going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
But I think when you looked at the objectives of what we wanted to do for the Commanders, regardless of the Lions' mistakes, because mistakes happen in football, that we did what we wanted to do. And then the fact that we didn't commit any turnovers, I think obviously was also extraordinarily helpful. But I want people's comments. For those who you were dialed in, we got a good number of people on here right now. Go ahead and put your comments in the comment section, because this isn't just two talking heads on here. This is a participation sport, and I want to hear your comments. What do you think was some of the key things that you took away from this game against the Detroit Lions before we move on and talk about the Philadelphia Eagles? I'm looking for that.
Now, Jeff is saying that they played lousy because the Skins were getting pressure. Not just because they had a bad night. I think it's both. They had a bad night, and they were playing against Drawing Payne and John Allen, and they did not have an answer for it. Where they've had answers for good defensive lines all year, but for whatever reason, that's why we watch. Unexpected things happen, and you know what? The Skins capitalize on two teams that made critical turnovers. They capitalized, and they didn't make the same mistakes. And you can win if you can do that. You can win, especially if you got, we've got weapons. We've got good people. We can score. So,
yeah, I thought that those opportunities that we had, I think we took advantage of a lot of opportunities in that game because we didn't miss on too many things. I think Trestway had one punt?
Yeah, one punt.
Yeah, and so we were really capitalizing, and then when the turnovers came, and Goff, once he got flustered, he gave up the ball quite a bit, which we're gonna eat those. You gonna feed us? We're gonna eat them.
Yep.
Right. And we're gonna take advantage of those opportunities because it's win or go home.
Yep.
So to me, I think the Lions cracked under pressure, but I give a lot of credit to the Washington Commanders for creating that pressure, for to throw them off of their game and take advantage of opportunities and not waste the opportunities and capitalize them when they're given to you. 100%. Because you can catch a break and not cash in on it, right? We caught the break and we cashed in on it. We made it hurt when we needed to make it hurt.
Yep. And Dan Quinn pulled a couple Dan Campbells. Dan Campbell, was pretty quiet. It was Quinn going for it on fourth down. And the Commanders have been dead. They've been the sleeper fourth down converter team out there. There
was a stat that they were saying we were leading the league in fourth down conversions
on fourth down. And last week, look at the touchdown on the fourth down call. We're all getting ready to eat our hats, going, "No, don't do that." He throws the touchdown to Ertz. This week against the Lions had a couple really. When we're looking at going, please take the points, please take the points, please take the points, and he, they went for it and we got it. It's a winning attitude and a winning culture, Yeah.
So Dave from American Street Rod
conversions in bad places. He's calling them on the other end of the field, right?
Right. So David from American Street Rod says, the NFC East is a beast this year. 2 teams in the playoffs in the NFC Championship game. You're absolutely right. I love to see it. This is another comment that we made earlier, to be able to see something like that. It was one of those things where, we know each other. The Eagles know us.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I think gives us the advantage over that is we have been a growing team through the year.
Yeah.
Right. And so we know the Eagles too, but we're improving. I think we're improving, and I think the Eagles are who they are, and I think we have a solution for that. So
I think we've been on the upswing while the Eagles. Are we switching to Eagles now? We done killing my Lions.
I really want to be able to abuse them.
I done gave up the ghost. Can we stop killing them now? Can we let Dan cry in peace, please? Can he just go home and cry in peace? And leave
is this like rest in peace? Like the memorial service over for the Lions? Is that what we're saying? I mean, I would love to be able to just continue to beat this horse for like another 15 minutes. But yeah, we can move on to the Eagles game. Sure. I know it's killing you inside, even though you're wearing Redskins colors. I know deep down underneath, the blue in you is hurting. You're feeling the blues.
Yep.
The Detroit Lion Blues today.
Jack is saying they were 3 or 4 this game on 4th down. 75% 4th down conversion rate. That's pretty insane.
Jack, that's an amazing stat. And I'll take that all day, man.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
I mean, you don't want to get in 4th down situations, but if you are there, let's have a 75% conversion rate, right?
Yeah. He also talked about I can't remember his name now. Now it's escaping me, but we lost our cornerback with a broken forearm, just like Anzalone. And that hurt us. That wasn't the problem. Yeah, Robertson. Robertson. Yeah, Robertson. Yeah. That didn't kill us, Jack. That didn't kill the Lions. The Lions killed the Lions. They ate their own. They ate their young.
I will tell you, when I saw that, I mean, his arm did get crushed, but we didn't think it was broken. But then to later find out that it was broken, I don't like to hear that from any football player. You're out there to play a game. It's your profession. I hate seeing any player get hurt. But it's part of football. But but anyway, we can stop beating up your Lions. We can move on to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I had said earlier in the beginning of the show, like, to me, one of my key things to victory to beat the Philadelphia Eagles is obviously pointing out the absolute obvious is we have to have an answer for Saquon Barkley. My question to you, Large Sarge, is do you think we have the defensive makeup to stop him?
Already proved it once. We'll prove it again. Listen, the second game this year where we won, after Jalen went down, I get it, but the backup quarterbacks were playing flawless football. That was a winnable game by Philadelphia, and we still beat them. We could not stop Barkley in the first half. And all of a sudden we plugged that gap, and they had to start throwing, and they threw, and they were doing well. But we still outlasted him. We outlasted and outscored him, and I think that's going to be the story of this game. Jalen is not I think Shaq made a comment earlier while I was driving home. He'll be on shortly, folks. That Jalen is not the same Jalen he was in the beginning of the year. Matter of fact, he was hurt so bad in this game that we watched with the Rams, and correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, that they put him back in the shotgun.
They did. They put him back in the shotgun. Yep.
He didn't get involved in any run. Yeah. They protected him because he was hurt.
Yeah. And so that's going to be something that's going to be very interesting to monitor as the week goes on. I imagine he's going to be somewhat limited in practice. We don't know how bad he's hobbling around right now. But I don't foresee as the week goes on, unless he becomes healthy enough to do it. I don't see him running out of the pocket next week too much. Yep. They'll probably kind of keep him a little bit more reserved and let Barkley do most of the work. That would be the smart thing to do, right? So Jack Miller has come on there and said that Hurts is banged up. He's going to have a brace on. So our focus can be on Barkley. Any of those, and you got to know, like, they run RPOs too.
Yeah,
I think in those RPO situations, just putting my coaching hat on, right? I think in those RPO situations, you bite on Barkley.
Yeah, because he's not going to run.
You don't believe that Jalen Hurts is going to run. You commit to shutting down Barkley in those plays.
Yeah, you mean Hurts, Jalen Hurts.
You mean Hurts? Yeah.
So with the brace on, I'd say their RPO game.
What did I say? I don't know what I said.
Huh?
What did I say? I don't know what I said.
I forgot already.
Yeah.
I ate a hat. I'm not feeling good. I got a dead lion hat in my belly. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts with a banged up leg with a brace on, their RPO is gone. He's not going to run. So
they're going to have to come with a different game plan.
Your head on, Coach. Your head's on straight. I totally agree with you on that.
Now they've got a lot of plays and a lot of like polls and different stuff like that with their offensive line to get Barkley open. That's what we've got to focus on because it's going to come down to that. And if we put a little bit of pressure on Hurts, I have a feeling it's going to affect his accuracy, and he's not going to be able to escape.
Yep.
Right?
I'd rather have an injured Hurts that plays all game, semi-injured, than go against their number 2 and number 3 QBs.
Who is their number 2 quarterback?
They did great when they came in the game against us. They couldn't. We beat them in the end, but they were playing fantastic. There was nothing skipped. I'd rather have Jalen in. It's like playing with a broken wing.
There you go. Play with a broken eagle wing.
Yep.
Broken eagle.
Let him do what he's going to do. You know what? Lattimore's learning the system. He actually, there was no penalties on Lattimore against the Lions. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So hopefully he puts in a decent performance. I mean, they've got Brown and Smith, right?
Yeah, but the Lions had
Brown.
Brown and Jameson Williams.
Yep.
And we did okay. I mean, we gave up some points. We gave up some yardage. We gave stuff like that. But like overall, I thought our secondary held well.
Yeah.
And we're not going to stop everything with the Eagles, but as long as we hold well.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about holding calls, right? I'm talking about making those defensive plays. And I predicted last week at least one interception.
Yep, you did.
We got 4.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'm going to say it right now. I predict at least one interception. Why? Because I want 4 against the Eagles.
Coach, it could happen. If Jalen Hurts, if he's going to play with a brace, and he's going to play, he's their best guy. Yeah, I think that percentage chance for something like that percentage chance for sacks goes up, percentage chance for QB mistake goes up. You're onto it, Coach. I agree totally with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of
only favorable to the Skins, right?
Yeah, and this would have been a question I would have asked Shaq, and I know he's on, so maybe he can type in the answer, or anybody else can type in the answer because I want to hear from everybody, right? Yeah. What is our biggest concern if we have one of the Philadelphia Eagles defense?
Oh, good question. Good question. Hey, folks,
put your answers out there.
Let us know what you think. We want to get your comments in here. Let us
what
know
do we
you're
need to worry about? What do we need to worry about? So, to me, off the top of my head, I think we're going to be all right against their defense. Now, the defense across the board is very, very solid. Across the board. But like who is it that I'm most concerned about? I don't know if I have a direct answer for that. That's why I'm kind of curious on what everybody else thinks. Is there a real issue with the Eagles defense that we need to be concerned about? So I know T-Rod says,
I agree. They're solid. They're solid. But listen, so are we. We've got Jaden and Scary Terry. We've got Zach Ertz.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to find him. I mean, we did before. We beat him. So we split the season. So
and I think Eckler and B-Rob, they're not, neither one of them I think are going to have like a huge like breakout game or nothing, but like I think that they're all both still going to produce solid production, right? And just to keep balance across the board.
Yeah.
I think Diami will do. I think maybe Zacchaeus will play a little bit more and get more involved. So, I mean, I think that there's opportunities out there for us to do some good stuff.
Now, you know what, Coach? I was calling it out while we're watching that game. Kingsbury loves that dadgum bubble screen. Now, he does spread it around to different players, but I saw 4 or 5 bubble screens.
You think that's
most of them didn't do anything. One went for a first down. The Lions read it and picked it up. So, I know it's a popular play, but we go to it a lot.
You think we go to it too much?
Too much, yeah. I would rather see a straight screen. We don't, we do the solo wide receiver, someone on the left or right side and sync them up and hope that someone misses, right? Well, there was a lot of those plays this playoff weekend where balls got batted, because defensive ends were reading that and jumping it and putting their hands in the air and batting balls down. We saw that in several different games. It's a dangerous play. Now, Jaden hasn't been caught with it, right? But Is that a high percentage play in terms of gain yards or a low percentage, Coach? How do you look at bubble screens?
I actually think it's a higher percentage play, and it works for us. I mean, we've seen Terry McLaurin break one of those before, and he took it to the house. So it does happen. But, hey, we got late breaking news because here we go. It is good old Shaq ready to join us here.
Hey.
Good old Shaq.
Man, what's going on? You see, I'm in my fresh Scamanders. You know what I'm saying? Scamanders gear. You know?
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah. I know a lot of songs. I miss you eating a hat. We're not about to slide past that. I missed it. You digested it. It's all good. As long as Mad Mike is satisfied with it. But how about those guys? The Lions roar. Oh, yeah.
The Lions whimpered with her tail between her legs. And Dan Campbell crying. Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
he's not a man.
Sorry for being late. I had to tend to
fatherly like duties. Dan Campbell.
I had to tend to fatherly duties tonight. Sorry for being late.
It's all right.
No problem, man. You're only 45 minutes late. It's not a big deal. We were holding the water without you, man. Freaking stalling for 45 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Coach. We're good, Coach, light him up. Light him up with a couple questions, Coach.
Let's go.
So one of the questions that we had that we just asked, and I'm very interested in your opinion on this, is who do we need to be concerned about when we're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles? Who do we need to be concerned about defensively from the Eagles?
Darius Slay. Their secondary is banged up. Yes. Nick Bond, for sure, Nick Bond. But they on Reagan Carter. Like they're good. They have that guy on each level right now. But the make or break for us is going to be the secondary. Remember, last time we played the Eagles, Darius Slay kind of had Terry McLaurin on lock.
Yep.
So he kind of had Terry McLaurin on lock. So there wasn't none of that. Cooper DeJean and those guys, they were sitting over top of Terry McLaurin. So there was not many real big plays because of that secondary. So Darius Slay is one of those guys. Darius Slay, Cooper DeJean, and the rest of those guys in that secondary. They're hurt on the other side, so you're going to see Terry McLaurin moving around the field a little bit more. What we can expect is more bubble screens. I know we hate the bubble screens. We hate the bubble screens. We hate that right there. But we have to do that before we start putting the ball down the field. We gotta draw the guys in.
Yeah, right? So here I gotta agree with you on the bubble screen, because if you can put a crack on Darius Slay and you can make a move, you can actually get some yardage.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So you just got to design the play like, hey, listen, block Darius Slay.
I mean, Slay had a hell of a game against the Rams.
That's right. Now, Puka Nacua started coming on later on in the game, but when he was not, Darius was lined up with Cooper Kupp, nothing. When he dropped down, when DeJean came down and was lined up with Puka Nacua, or Darius Slay was bumping Puka Nacua, threw him off his routes.
Yep, exactly.
It did. So it's like this man, big play Slay. His name is that for a reason.
Those guys were there, in week whatever it was, 15 or 16, and we still found a way.
Yep.
That's right. We still found a way.
They were there. We played them and we beat them. That stigma is gone. We know we can beat them.
Let me ask you my next question there, Shaq. So, like, offensively, like, what do you think our chances are offensively against this defense?
So,
what do we need to get going besides the bubble screen?
Brian Robinson. This week that just passed, I said Brian Robinson is going to need between 15 and 20 touches. I think he was right at 15, 14 to 15, somewhere in there. So he needs 15 to 20 touches for us to win. Austin Eckler had, I think, 10 touches. He came alive. We need more of B-Rob. We need to wear this defensive line out. Only way we're going to open up the pass game, we're going to open up with Jaden Daniels is not going to be able to do it himself. So we need another big game from B-Rob. He had 77 yards. We need another big game from B-Rob. We need an explosive game for Austin Eckler, because he's been good when he's healthy, but he's been mid at best this whole season, right? But he's clutch. So we need him. This is his time to shine. We need more of Eckler in this game.
Yeah, so David from All American Street Rod says, we got to be able to protect Jaden Daniels. I would agree with that. But let's flip the script a little bit. Let's flip the script and let's talk about the other side of the ball now. There's a good chance that Jalen Hurts is hurt.
Yes. He's banged up.
He's banged up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've made a comment earlier that I think that impacts their RPOs because you can kind of like focus in a little bit more on Barkley on those. Like there's no need to bite it. Like you don't really believe that Hurts is really going to run. So you need to commit a little bit more. But like, what do you think? Like besides the obvious solution of like we got to shut down Saquon Barkley, what do you think that we need to do defensively?
So defensively, right? We have, besides Saquon Barkley, right now we see Jalen Hurts did not look the same in this game. In this game that just passed, he still looked off. Yeah. Now, like he was missing passes. I see when he took off or 8-yard scramble, but he had 3 guys open. He had 2 receivers and a tight end open, but he didn't go through all of his progressions. So he's still off. Next thing he was limping around after he rolled up on his leg. He was limping around. He could not clearly answer the question how he felt after the game.
That's right. I saw that.
Yeah, he could not clearly answer how he felt. So he's going into this week banged up. Tomorrow, when we look at the practices for tomorrow, it's going to show that he's limited in practice. He's not going to be in full practice this week.
We want to monitor the injury report, and I agree with you after the game when they asked him, hey, how are you doing? He basically said, well, I finished the game.
Yeah.
Right? That's all he said, right?
Yeah.
And so I got a great comment. That brace might affect the tush push, which is something they use.
Yeah.
Jack, that's a great point, Jack.
And let's think about it. After Jalen Hurts got injured, there was no more tush push. They didn't do the tush push again. Right? So
Jack's got a point there. Jack's got a point.
Good point. Now, with that being said, though, our defense, we have to contain Saquon Barkley. I know we've discussed this because I was watching the show while I was driving. So we have to contain Saquon Barkley, but we have to if we're going to lose, the others have to beat us. We have to put a lock on. Marshawn Lattimore's going to have to play against AJ Brown, right? We have to contain Saquon Barkley. The others have to beat us. The receivers, Smith and they tight ends and stuff like that. That's who has to beat us. We have to lock down their big playmakers. We have to keep a hold on. Now that we got a inkling that Jalen Hurts is not going to be run in heavy in this RPO game. We have to, again, like you said earlier, Coach Mike, don't feed into it. I would rather a banged up Jalen Hurts coming around the corner than Saquon Barkley taking off for 70 yards down the field.
Yeah, exactly. And so one of the other things I like to say on that also is I think that this is a greater opportunity. I am more of a zone kind of coverage kind of guy. For those who know me, I like that a little bit more, but that's not usually what Witt does. He likes to play a little bit more man. I actually think we actually need to be in man. So it definitely works a little bit more because if we can do a lot of like man coverage and we can hold with their receivers, and I think Sinistral's coming along. I think Marshawn Lattimore's coming along, a little bit of safety over coverage, because what I want from the entire line and what I want from our entire linebacker core is to shut down the run.
Yes, because I can tell you right now. Okay, so now let's look at their team. Devontae Smith is their deep ball threat, right? Mm-hmm. And Sanders can keep up. He can keep up. And AJ Brown is not a deep ball threat. We just need Lattimore not to get any penalties inside that 10 to 15 yard game. Because I don't know what's going on with him and his penalties. He had a good game this week, but he also got away with 2 holding calls. He did.
I didn't see that.
Yes, he did. He got away with 2 holding calls, jamming people up at the line. They running past him, cut to the inside. He's pulling their jerseys, wrapping their arms around him. He got away with a couple of holding calls this week. It just passed. If they got called, I would have been on his neck today.
Jack, I got a question for you.
Yep.
You'll appreciate this, Coach. So you know that Tampa Bay cracked the code on Jaden Daniels. They cracked the code. They had the contain code on Jaden Daniels, right? They cracked it. Everyone saw it. And it was very clear that the Lions did too, because they were playing the same game and left their center wide the hell open. So if that means Philly's seen the same thing. So if they decide to try to shut down the outside on Jaden Daniels, how do you think that's going to go for us? Do you think their middle is going to open up like it did with the Lions?
No, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you why it's not gonna open up. Right? They're going to start running stunts. Everybody knows. Watch that. Now we have a year of footage on Jaden Daniels. He's going to play the rest of his career with a safety spying him or a linebacker spying him for the rest of his career.
Yeah, has to.
And that's what's going to happen in this game. You're going to see the running stunts in the front, and you're going to see Cooper DeJean down or the other safety down, because the other safety is a rookie too, coming down, sitting over top, sitting right behind, or they're going to have one of their nickel backs coming down, sitting behind, spying them, watching the whole game. As soon as he tries to break from the outside, this is where you're going to see and their linebackers are fast. The Eagles linebackers are fast.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're fast. So this is a whole different ball game. But again, this is going to open up. This is where Kingsbury play calling is going to come in. He called a good game this week. So this is where the play calls is going to come in. I am telling you, this is where the play calls.
This is the first time I heard you actually compliment Kingsbury.
The whole season, right? The whole season. The whole season.
So the second game against the Eagles, Jaden Daniels was having a pretty good run game, right? We didn't have any other run game at Daniels. I think now that there's film on it and there's 2 games showing that it can be done, you can contain him. But the question is at what cost, right? So it depends on your personnel. And I think overall the Eagles have a stronger defense across the board than the Lions did. So I think it's a bit more problematic. But I expect, B-Rob did bust a couple runs on that second game against the Eagles. So he did. So anything's possible here. I am definitely calling Commanders on this game.
And well, this is the thing right here, though, right? So the difference between the Rams and us, the you know what I'm saying, and the Eagles in the first game, right? They didn't face a legitimate deep ball threat. We had 2 of them. De'Ami Brown has woken up in the playoffs. He's woken up. And Terry McLaurin is a deep ball threat, no matter how many ways you put it.
Yep.
Like, he is a deep ball threat. They haven't faced a deep ball threat in the playoffs yet.
Yep.
So
Puka and the Rams. Puka's a deep ball threat.
No, he's not. He's your little Wes Walker, scrappy guy, stuff like that.
Yeah, but they've been using him in that role. He's been getting a lot of mid-level balls, but that's your deep threat. Cup is the short man.
Cooper Kupp is years past his prime. You're not going to get those long. You're not going to get those long passes. Now, when you're coming to
Cooper Kupp is having an off year compared to what we've seen in the past few years.
That's right. He's
slow down.
Crying the whole time. He's like, I want the Rams to win. I want the Rams to. Coach is crying and crying. I'm like, no, you don't want the Rams to win. The Rams will beat the Commanders.
So the reason why I kind of felt that
I want to play Philly.
The reason why I kind of felt that way is because the Washington Commanders have done well in domes. And so when I saw how well they continue to play when they went to Detroit against the number 1 seed, I'm just like, I really kind of, even before that, I kind of knew that they'd play well in a dome. I was just like, the idea of going to Los Angeles where they can capitalize on their speed and get Jaden Daniels to focus on his speed and everything else like that. Like, we do well in a controlled environment like that. I don't believe, and this is my own personal opinion, and people can argue with me, I don't believe that this particular team has been tested in inclement weather. And I'm concerned.
Yeah, there hasn't been a single game.
I'm concerned going against the Philadelphia Eagles if the weather gets bad, kind of like a snow game, like the Eagles had this past year, how they would actually fare. Being slowed down by inclement weather.
Well, we know it's going to be
a little concerned.
Cold. It's going to be extremely cold.
It's going to be cold at least.
Oh yeah, I'm going to say because in the Atlanta game, it was raining. It was a rainy game. That game was not dry. It was a rainy game. And it was a night game, right? So I mean, was it a night game? Which one was it? Yeah, I think it was a night game, but it was raining. The second time we played the Eagles, it was cold, inclement weather. It just wasn't snow.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah, so
it's a whole different manimal of cold, though, Shaq.
It is.
And I understand Coach Mad Mike's point. You know what I mean?
The Eagles proved it this past week that they can play in that weather. I'm just like,
hey, I can tell you right now.
Philly was a little bit of a concern to me, but like I do believe that we have something that Philly doesn't have, and that's the it factor right now.
Yeah.
And I believe that we can go up there and do it. And the fact that we beat them this last time we've got the momentum on our side. We have won 7 straight games in a row.
Yeah, the stigma's off the monkey's off the back. The stigma's killed. We killed the Eagles. So that's gone. That stigma is gone, right? So, and they just unseated the number 1 seed. So the attitude in the team is we can win any game we want to.
Yeah.
45 points against the Lions. That ain't been done.
Yeah, true. That's very true. That's very true. But we knew it was going to be a high-scoring game
right now.
They are. But now let's go ahead. Let's reel it in a little bit. Let's reel this in a little bit. And I'm going to tell you why we need to reel it in a little bit. The same way we sit here talking about it and thinking about it, those players are too. And once ego get the best of you on that football field, things start to happen, right? Yeah. So we get ahead of ourselves with this, right? Oh, we gonna beat the Eagles. We gonna beat the Eagles, right? We was pretty level-headed with the Lions game. Oh, it can happen, but if it don't, we're proud of our guys. Let's not go into this NFC Championship game thinking it's gonna be a give me, because it's not.
Oh no, they're gonna fight. It's not a gimme. But can we beat them? Oh, to be honest with you, I feel much better about the Eagles than I did about the Lions. I'm much more confident about the Commander's ability.
That's because you got too much Lions blood
at home in Philly than I did about them beating the Lions at home. I did.
That's because 90% of your big old belly is Lions right there.
I'm telling you, but the Lions
are the
number 1 seed, and they're playing them at home. Philly's hurt, in the worst place they can be hurt with Jalen Hurts, right? That's the worst place they could be hurt. And you can have Saquon, but he's just one guy. He's just one guy, right? So
I mean, that one guy was the only person producing offense yesterday. 207 yards rushing.
Yep.
And he had like, I think he had like almost 200 yards from scrimmage yesterday.
And
that's insanity.
They barely won. They barely won that game.
The
game was about to get shoved up their rear end at the end.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Hey, I got to give a timeout. So everybody, it's prediction time. I need to get people on the chat box because all you guys are listening. Remember, this is a participation sport. I want you with your tags of your handles to say who you got in this game and what's the score going to be. Commanders, Eagles. What are we looking at? Get your fingers working. Come on. I want to know what you got. And while I'm on that, Large Sarge, you are up. Who do you got in this game? Commanders, Eagles, and what's the score?
Commanders, 8 points.
Ooh. What's the score?
I have no clue. I said Commanders, 8 points.
Commanders, 8 points.
All right. It's going to be 34-26.
34-26.
That's not 8 points, is it? Yeah, it is.
It's close.
Something like that.
It's
Commanders
in there. You're right.
30s, Philadelphia in the 20s. How about that? That's as close as I'm going to get.
Yeah, you gave 8 points, man.
You gave it points. You gave it
34-26. Okay.
But I mean, a combo of the Philly in the 20s and the Commanders in the 30s. Commanders going to score 30 points. You watch. At least.
So Jack Miller was the first Bull fan to get on there and say 30-24 Commanders.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Jack. Hey, everybody else who's watching, give us your predictions over there. All right, Shaq.
Philly's going to score. Philly is going to score. There's no question they're going to score.
Okay, so this is my prediction. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Oh,
I personally don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think if we keep Saquon Barkley contained, right? At a minimum, he gonna get his yards, he gonna get his points, stuff like that, right? But if we can contain the major playmakers and keep injured Jalen Hurts in there, it's gonna be a low-scoring game. I got it. It's gonna be 40+ points, but I got it. 23-21 Commanders.
Wow.
23-21 Commanders.
23-21 Commanders.
Barkley's gonna have at least 2 touchdowns, at least.
Yeah, 23-21 Commanders. Yeah, for sure. Whoever has the ball last is going to win.
Dave Overall American saying Skins 24 and Eagles 21. Very similar.
Yep.
Good one, Dave.
Yeah,
who else is out there?
It's a divisional game.
Come on, Nat.
Yep, it's a divisional game. And in these divisional games, no matter what time of year it is, it's going to be tough. So, yeah, 23-21.
He's watching. Tay, I love you, baby. I talked to him yesterday.
All right.
Commander, 24-17. Thanks for watching, Tay. I appreciate it.
Nice.
24-17.
Yep. It's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yep.
And if this game is a high-scoring game,
man, I'm putting too much faith in the high score, aren't I?
Yeah, well, no, I mean you have right to because of how garbage the defense giving up 500 yards is not a win. Even though we had all the turnovers we did,
right.
All the interceptions and the fumble return, but giving up 500 yards is not a win. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's why I said B- in the chat.
So I am going to be very, very close to Jack on this. I'm going to say 31-24. I'm going to go one more point for the Commanders than he had. He has 30-24. I'm actually saying 31-24. So very, very close to Jack. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, and probably a lot of those points will come in the second half. But because that kind of happens. Sometimes we get going in the second half a little bit better. It's going to be a dogfight initially. I also predict at least 2 really good fights in this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mean the players?
And one of them is going to involve Marshawn Lattimore.
It might involve Marshawn Lattimore.
Oh, God, don't say
at least 2 fights, man.
Are we going to have an injection during the game?
It's quite possible, but I don't think so.
If anybody, it'd be Dante Fowler. Now, I heard earlier. I heard y'all talking about the defensive line play. Dante Fowler showed up the whole year. Now we can't skip past the defensive line without bringing up Dante Fowler.
Yeah,
he's a top 3.
He has done well.
He's one of the top guys in sacks on our defense right now. So, I mean, Allen Payne played the game. Newton played the game. But Dorrance Armstrong also had his moments. And we cannot go this whole season without saying that Dante Fowler didn't show flashes of old Dante Fowler.
If there's a fight, we're going to win that one too.
I'm also going to predict that both teams will at least have 3 personal fouls.
Each team 3 personal fouls?
That's a stretch.
That is a fight.
That's a stretch.
Fight, man.
Yeah.
That's how 2 of those fights are going to get started, man.
No ejections. No ejections.
But no ejections.
Now, if
all right,
I'm gonna tell you where the fight's gonna be at. I'm gonna tell you where the fight's gonna be at. If the Eagles lose, then Commanders fans may get the hell about that stadium.
Oh man! I mean, you're gonna want to watch the police blotter. I mean, it's sad to say, but you better get the flip out of there quick because otherwise the police blotter is gonna go up, man.
Jack, we already said if there's tickets and we're going to take you to the game, we're not sitting with you.
oh yeah, they're going to be ready to fight.
Wearing your blankety blank the Eagles shirt and talking trash, and we're like, we're not sitting near that guy.
For sure. The Eagles
because Shaq Shaq would be one of those fights.
they better have some hands on them.
So as you know, Cosby got injured. And then when that happened, Coach and I were chatting back and forth about the sub and where it would go. And they did not go the way the coach tell them.
So they ended up putting Trent Scott at right guard, which was a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought they'd put Trent Scott, who's been playing all year at tackle, that they would move him to the outside, maybe move Wiley, who's played at guard before, into the inside. But they didn't do that. They just plugged and played Trent Scott right at right guard. And surprisingly enough,
he played good.
Played extraordinarily well. So much so that they're just like, wait a minute. Do we have it all wrong? Is he a guard and we didn't know?
Hey, I know this. Trent Scott played exceptionally well. I put it to you like this: when Trent Scott entered the game, all the pressure from the strong side slowed down.
Yep,
it was all coming from the weak side, on Coleman's side. When they put Trent Scott in the game, all of it slowed down. All of the pressure coming from that side slowed down.
You know,
I'm just saying.
I find it very, very interesting, and so. I imagine he's going to get the start. He's going to get the start this week because Cosby's out.
He's going to stay. They're going to keep it the same this game. You think they're going to keep it the same?
Until show other words. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. But he's going to have his hands full with Reggie Carter this week.
He is.
Boy. He's going to have his hands full this week.
So this is where I think they might use the strategy that other teams have used. Is you got to kind of double team them. So I would see that ass helping Trent Scott a little bit out and try to do a little double team on him.
Yeah.
So, that'll be there. But anyway, guys, I will tell you what, this has been a phenomenal show. I'm glad that Shaq was able to join us for the last 15, 20 minutes. But, hey, we were glad to have you on here. That's a beautiful jacket, brother. I'm telling you, I love that jacket. That's nice. Look at it, showing it off. Oh, he's got a big old W on the back. Look at that.
Come on.
Hey, I like that.
The Scommanders, baby. The Scommanders.
Scommanders. All right. Hey, everybody. Again, happy Inauguration Day. Happy Liberation Day. Happy Martin Luther King Day. And happy Victory Day for the Washington Commanders, because we're going back and we're going to do it again all next week. We're going to freaking crush the Eagles.
Did you bring up the we snapped the longest drought in NFC for the NFC Championship game? Did you bring that up?
What did
we had the longest drought for making it to the NFC Championship game. We snapped that this year. It now belongs to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah. As all the crap records do belong. As they search for a new coach. And sorry, Cowboys.
Yep.
All right, guys, we are out of here. Thank you all for joining us. HTTR, baby. HTTR.
Let's go.